Hey, welcome to a new video. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be suggesting some free alternatives to paid for software that is used in the industry. When I was studying in art in university, we were given access to all of the paid for software used in the industry, which was really cool because we learned how to use it. However, we never were told about any alternatives that could be used when we left. Being an artist, I don't have the funds to pay for Adobe or Maya or Substance Painter, and I found a software that I could either use that was free or had a free version. So I wanted to talk about those free alternatives to some pay for software. I hope it comes in useful for those starting out or who don't have the means to pay for the proper stuff. Obviously, there are probably more than what I have listed here, but these are the ones that I have used or currently use or have tested for the sake of this video. Currently, my go-to drawing program is Krita. I use Krita because it has all the tools I regularly use. It has brushes, vectors, blend modes, clipping layers, liquify, and basically everything else you kind of expect in a drawing program. I mean, you can even save Krita as a PSD file if you need to, which is great. Somewhat recently, Krita has now been ported to Android, which makes it great for tablet users as well. It has great basic brushes, and you can also create your own or download more online. It has its own sort of forum or library of downloadable brushes made by other users. The only difference I can think of that Photoshop has is AI fill tools, or like just AI tools in general. I haven't used Photoshop in a while. I mean, probably since I last was in school, so I'm not sure what other features it probably includes, but as a basic drawing program, Krita works just fine. Another perk of Krita is the ability to animate on it as well, which is great. It has frame by frame animation tools as well as curve animation tools, along with onion layers and layered animation, which is pretty cool. Another alternative is Fire Alpaca, which works just about the same as Krita, as well as Medibang, which is more focused on creating manga and inking style art, but has an Android version as well. An honorable mention, if you're looking for more pixel art drawing software, take a look at Pixel Studio on Steam. It has frame by frame animation, layers, and sprite sheet maker. Next up, animation. Technically, I have already covered animation with Krita and Pixel Studio, but I just wanted to add a few more suggestions. First up is Blender for animation, because Blender has 2D features such as the grease pen, and there's a lot that can be done with it. I'll recommend a video in the description to learn more about it. The next animation software is Live2D. Technically, it is a subscription software, however, it does have a free option with limited features. In Live2D, you basically rig a 2D image with sliders or controls, and you animate those controls. It looks super cool, but it's kind of limited in the animations that you can do, depending on how many layers you have. The last one is Synfig, which I haven't used personally, but I've looked into, and it appears to be a good replacement for Toon Boom Harmony. This program works with vectors and bone rigging to create 2D animation. You can also create bitmap art and rig it to bones, allowing you to deform your art for animation. Moving on. Last step for 2D is vector art. To replace Adobe Illustrator, I can only suggest Inkscape. Although I mentioned Krita does have vector art, it does feel very limited and a bit unintuitive. Inkscape is only for vectors and it does a great job at it. Inkscape has all the standard tools such as the pen tool, shape tool, object editing, grouping, path, and text editing. Now that 2D art programs are out of the way, let's look at 3D software solutions. So in the industry, we use Maya, but that requires money. So the most well-known replacement, and the one I've been using for years now, is Blender. It does have a lot of the things that Maya does, and honestly, in some areas, it does even more. Obviously, the key thing is creating 3D models. This is where they pretty much are exactly the same in terms of editing models, box modeling, sculpting, They work roughly the same. The key difference is Blender's non-destructive workflow with the use of modifiers, allowing you to do so many things like mirroring, arrays, booleans, multi-res, and so much more. You can do compositing and texturing within the program as well. Although these sides of Blender are not as good as other softwares that focus only on texturing or only on compositing, it is a good starting point. And I have fully textured models solely in Blender before. However, this leads us to our next alternative. This is a software for texturing 3D models, and the best part of Substance Painter for me is the layers for painting, the high-res baking, and being able to adjust the strength of each layer. So for the alternative, I have a plugin for Blender that enhances the texturing within Blender. Nuka Paint is an extension for Blender that adds a lot of features that Substance Painter has into Blender. These features are layers with different channels, baking, ambient occlusion, and multi-res baking, and masking. This is basically the core things that you need for texturing, and it does a really good job at it. I've done texturing with just Nuka Paint before, and you can get a lot done with it. However, if you want a specific software for 3D texturing, there are a few suggestions you can take a look at, but I have not personally tried them, so I put these as suggestions. First up is Quixel Mixer for Unreal Engine, which is Epic Games' material editing software, mainly to work with Unreal Engine, so I'm not sure how well it can be used to export to other programs. Next up is Instamat, which is free for individuals, but you might need to provide card details to get the free version. It works well with most 3D softwares and game engines. It seems to have really cool node-based texturing, but I have not used this program. Lastly is Material Maker. It seems to have good node-based texturing and painting tools with layers, but I think it works best for creating procedural textures. Again, I have not tried this software either, so take my suggestion with a little bit of grain of salt and try it out for yourself. Moving on to video editing. I would recommend the free version of DaVinci Resolve to replace Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Fusion to replace After Effects. This is what I currently use to edit videos, and it has a bunch of features in it. Some I honestly have no clue about, but as I use it, I find more useful things about it. DaVinci Resolve lets you create multiple timelines for a project, and it has sections for sound editing, color correction, and even motion tracking and vector systems. It has plenty of free effects that you can use, and there are a variety of free plugins that you can install as well. That is all of the suggestions I have today. If I do find any more alternatives, I will make a second video. So if you're looking to start making digital art or want tools that are more easily available, I hope this list helped you on your hunt, and I will link all the software in the description, so feel free to check them out. Thank you for watching until the end, and if this was useful, feel free to subscribe or check out my work. See you in the next one. Bye!